This is DateLine with CFJ. Breaking headline news with a little snark thrown in. DateLine. The Supreme Court. President Obama, a man of many records, just set another one in failure. No president in history has lost count them, 9 unanimous rebukes from the nation's highest court. Just imagine how much of a megalomaniac tyrant he has become when left-wing nuts like Ginsburg and Breyer, along with his own appointees, the progressives Sotomayor and Kagan, had to bitch-slap Breezy this week over his illegal recess appointments. Now, do you really think that Obama got the message that he is not king and must actually abide by the laws?
I'm going to keep taking actions on my own.
And what was the response of the West Wing intelligentsia that are supposed to keep the president grounded in reality? DateLine. South Texas. Former Speaker of the House, dingbat Nancy Pelosi, who once said,
"I don't know what was so great about the Depression, but that's the name they give it,"
will travel to a detention facility to greet illegals. Maybe she should take a few back with her to her San Francisco mansion, or her Napa Valley mansion, or her other 2 mansions. Since 90% of illegals skip their court appearance and disappear.
Well, which way did it go? Which way did it go, George?
Maybe she can spread her wealth around and buy all these people homes so we can keep track of them. I mean, it wouldn't cramp her financially since she is one of the richest people in D.C. and has amassed a fortune over $100 million. DateLine. Mississippi. Just when you thought the rhinoceroses had stooped to their lowest level in trying to hold on to their position, power, prestige, and pork, then comes along Thad Cochran. Trailing Tea Party candidate Chris McDaniel, by a wide margin, the sitting senator from Mississippi, who has been feeding on pork for over 42 years in Washington, D.C., needed professional help to beat McDaniel in the Republican primary runoff. Cochran called on the elite in their profession. He called in the professionals in voter fraud, the Democrats. Using the tried-and-true liberal slime book, rare for a supposed Republican, they played the imaginary race card against McDaniel with lies and innuendos. Throw in your typical Democrat multiple votes, and there you have it. The establishment GOP stealing an election just like a Democrat. Just when you thought the line between the establishment GOP and Democrats was blurred enough, DateLine. Our southern borders. The people on the ground in Obama's war on our borders are collecting gifts to send our dear leader, who, with his illegal mini-amnesty by executive order, has caused a humanitarian crisis not seen since the Cuban boat lift. These regular citizens who are using their own time and money to take care of all these children sent because President Obama's dreamer policy are now fed up. They are fed up with having to clean up Obama's mess. And in protest, they are sending slightly used underwear from these refugee facilities to the White House.
Ew. Smells like pee.
I think it's a useless gesture. Everyone knows Obama wears a G-string. DateLine. Reality. Just when you thought the environmentals had their craniums so far up their prostates A new report about the hoax of global warming sends their heads further up. The fact about global warming came out this week when one of the world's most influential climate records, the graph of U.S. surface temperature records published by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, were exposed, fabricating evidence to fit into the phony global warming narrative. The truth of the matter is that the globe has been cooling since the 1930s, and that the hottest decade in history was the 1930s. Ask an environmental how many cars were on the road spewing CO2 emissions back in the 30s. My question to these global warming nuts is, now that the authority on the warming hoax has been exposed as frauds, will you guys pull your heads out and join us in reality? DateLine. Socialist France. President Barack Obama this week espoused his admiration for the French economy. With unemployment over there at 10.4%, there are more people depending on government handouts. Admirable to Obama. And with a proposed 75% tax rate on the wealthy, you can actually see the dollar signs in his eyes. The only problem with the French economy is that over 50% of the youth, if they had the chance, would leave France because of the economic doldrums. I have a good idea. These kids who want to work can come over here, and since Obama loves France so much, why doesn't he just move there? I know someone he can hang out with in France that stinks just as much as he does.
Hello, Pepe. I am Pepe Le Pew. The Grand Illusion.
And that's DateLine with CFJ for this day, June 30th, 2014.